Test, test, test. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I get a little emotional because when this whole pandemic started, March 11th, well, when we found out, as we all know, the president knew in January, February, but like he says, it is what it is. So as my fat ass continues to stay in the house and self-distance and do all that stuff, I figured on this gorgeous Thursday, is it now 6:30, 6:38, I will go ahead and before the game starts at 8:20, I will go ahead and do the State of the League, and I would do Thursday game day. As you know, for you new guys, like Ja and Alex coming back, I do game days on Thursdays and Sundays. And then I do also a breakdown on Tuesdays of the game of the week, stud of the week, and different matters of that nature, and doormat of the week. Believe me, you don't want to be that doormat. So once again, give credit where credit is due. Again, MiamiBoyz, year 7. There's no MiamiBoyz without the members of this league. Welcome some back. Some new ones like Teddy. The league moves on, and it wouldn't have gotten to year 7 if it wasn't for you guys. Some of us had known each other for the whole 7 years. Some of us are meeting each other for the first time. But remember, the first and foremost rule of MiamiBoyz: let's be respectful. We can talk smack. Let's be respectful. Let's not let it get out of hand. Let's not bring up anybody's jobs, families, anything like that. It's already a sensitive time with coronavirus going on. So let's just have a good time. It's like basically a 4-month-long bet, and the winner wins. Put your best team forward. As you can see already, the Shawshank Redemption is exactly what we say it is. We're out for redemption, and we're making all types of trades. If I feel like I can tweak something on my team and I want to commit with the guy, then I will do that. Doesn't matter what it is. You guys know me. You've known me for years. Sometimes I trade good. Sometimes I trade bad. I'm not going to say I'm perfect or anything like that, but I do make trades. And I just pulled off a trade with a guy who doesn't make trades. So I already count that as a win here in 2020 when most of us are losing. But, just trying to make my team better, trying to make my team stronger. And, as an owner, you are the general manager of your team. If you want to make a trade, you make a trade. If you don't want to make a trade and you're happy with what you got, then you do what you do. It's a long season. Also, remember, trade deadline November 9th. Make sure you look at the rules. Make sure you look at the trade deadline. Make sure you look at everything. Just wanted to throw that out there. And always, as I say, always, other than a small 1% that George had last year, even though he did make one trade, you will never finish the fantasy season with the team that you started with. Okay? Chiefs, Texans tonight, Thursday night game day. We will see how it is. We will see how it is to play with no fans in the stands. There are some teams that are allowing fans. I know the Dolphins are one of them. They're allowing 13,000 or 15,000. But we will see how it is with fans in the stands. We will see how it is without fans in the stands and the level of play with having no training camp, no OTAs, no preseason games. So I think right now, for you new guys like Teddy, and for you old heads that are used to the incredible MiamiBoyz scoring, I don't know, it could go either way. It could go complete like blowout since there's no fans in the stands, and who knows? You already can't jam a receiver, touch a receiver anyway. We'll see what happens. It can go either way. You can get low points, you can get high points, but Let's see how it affects the Miami Boys scoring. Like some of you may know, and Teddy, you don't know, and you'll see this week. You'll see how the scoring goes, and then you can adjust your team and adjust your lineups based on that. So that's pretty much all I can give you. All right, I wanted to go with a since we got time to kill. I mean, the game starts at almost 8:30. I wanted to go. I was supposed to have some help, but it is what it is. According to Trump and according to my other guys who are supposed to be with me during this draft breakdown. So I figured I'd do it myself. Figure I'd scour everybody's drafts because Alex did ask the question. He said, "Who do you think had the best draft?" So I'm gonna try to give an unbiased opinion of the draft. I think this is one of the better drafts that we had. Not too many big surprises. There were a couple, whoa, like you didn't expect that moments, but not too bad as most of the teams got who they wanted. Again, you're the general manager of a team. You can do what you need to do, and let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. I think I'll go into analysis till about the 9th or 10th round, and then from there I'll go quickly over the picks or whatever. So, yeah. So this is my draft breakdown of the Miami Boys draft, and like I said, I'm just gonna be pretty much unbiased, not making no favorites and stuff like that, and I won't talk too much about my team because that would be a biased review. So starting off with number 1 pick, you had George, which was no surprise. It took Christian McCaffrey. CMC, new offense this year. Teddy Bridgewater, I think, is a slight upgrade to the hurt Cam Newton that was there. Brand new weapons, so you can't stack 9 in the box, even though he dismantled other people with 9 in the box last year. Now he has Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore. CMC is going to be CMC. That's why George picked him. George had a chance to take any quarterback that he wanted, but CMC was the correct pick at that pick. Whoa. Sorry, focus. Teddy at number 2 took Patty Mahomes. According to Miami Boys scoring, he's not wrong by doing that there. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, 1-2 last year in the Miami Boys, putting up points, and the air attack of the Kansas City Chiefs, he's not wrong by doing that. Patty Mahomes can easily give him 40, 50 points every Sunday or Thursday or whatever when he wants to. And that total was with him being hurt, 3-4 games last year with the dislocated knee? So Patrick Mahomes, deadly. You're not wrong there, Teddy. Number 3, Will chose Saquon Barkley coming off a hurt campaign last year where he was hurt, coming into a brand new offense with who was he? The Patriots special teams guy or whatever. Unbelievable talent, but with a brand new offense, a quarterback who throws a little too many interceptions, and with your left tackle sitting out the year, and a rookie left tackle in the starting position due to the other left tackle sitting out because of COVID-19. Just my opinion, I feel like Ezekiel Elliott was the pick there. Hopefully Saquon can return some dividends at the number 3 position for you. Sean, 4, Ezekiel Elliott, nothing more to say. Already potent, deadly, now has CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup has matured, and Amari Cooper is Amari Cooper. Ezekiel Elliott, no qualms there at 4. Should have went 3, but no qualms there at 4. Excellent value, excellent pick. Tennis with the first surprise, not surprise type of deal. I figured Lamar Jackson would go somewhere in the first, and he went to tennis. Tennis after last year, finishing as the doormat of the year. figure some things out. Knew that he had to get away from the Giants, get away from his love from the Giants, and he starts out with the MVP. Can't go wrong there. At pick number 5, no qualms about that. Lamar Jackson, who Lamar Jackson is, I think that he'll slow down the rushing a little bit. And since they have like 18 running backs, they'll try to use them a little more. And I think he'll focus on passing more. But still, as George knows from last year, the guy can get you 50 and you don't even have to worry about the rest of your week. So we'll see what he does this week. Won't have a repeat of last year, but he will be efficient. And tennis goes back to being tennis and taking quarterbacks. Chino, and via trade with me, he got the 6th pick in the first round. I got his 2nd and his 3rd round pick. He takes Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a great career at LSU. He's somebody that all the fantasy gods and quote unquote gurus and conshipsis have been talking about. It's all Clyde Edwards. Like if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is already short, but with all the people who were like on his nuts, he'd be like 1 foot tall from all the people pulling them down. Big gamble when he could have had Derrick Henry or whoever he wanted there. But Chino believes in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's talked about it. So he's definitely not wrong. But I just hope it works out because we all know he is on a passing team. But let's see. I doubt that Patrick Mahomes will forget him because Patrick Mahomes is the one who asked for Andy Reid to draft him. So if it works out, Chino has 2 number 1s, and in a PPR league, Clyde Edwards-Helaire could be big. If he doesn't work out and he's a complete bust, then it might cost Chino a little bit in the long run. Edwin, number 4, passes on Derrick Henry, takes Alvin Kamara. Feel like Derrick Henry was the man to take in that spot, just like how I felt in the Clyde Edwards-Helaire spot. But Alvin Kamara is playing for a contract. He is fully healthy after last year. We found out late that he was dealing with a knee injury. He wants to get paid, and I think that he will play that way. He knows that Latavius Murray's on his back, and I think he'll come out and ball this year. Michael Thomas won't have 365 catches. Half of that will go to Kamara, and I expect Kamara to shine in his second try for Harold. As we all know, he got hurt last year, and it hurt Harold. But Harold was able to rebound with Kenyon Drake and with Aaron Jones. So we'll speak more on that later. But not mad with the pick, but I would have took Derrick Henry. But that's just me, again, just giving my opinion. Ronald. Excellent pick here with Michael Thomas. Can't go wrong with that. NFL receiver, caught like 8,000 passes last year or whatever. If you're going to take a receiver in the first round, this is the number 1 guy. And Ronald, I'm not mad at you. Hit a home run with that. All right. First shocker of the draft. Edwin, the Tua Tank attacks. He takes Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake was going in the late 2nd round, early 3rd. Again, he could have had Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, especially with Kenyon Drake rumored to be in a walking boot and coming off of a foot injury. You don't know the extent of it, even though they say he is practicing and stuff like that. I think it's a little bit of a gamble, but you did make up for it. But again, if you love what you love, that you're the Eddie Finns, you're all about Dolphins. Even if they do leave, you will still draft them. And I think the only thing that you have more love for is the Miami Dolphins and Philip Lindsay. But we'll talk about that on the flip side. All right, moving on. Armando does the right thing. I'm sorry. Armando doesn't do the right thing. He takes Dalvin Cook, which I understand, because Dalvin Cook is Dalvin Cook. But we all know that Alexander Mattison is chopping on his heels. And we all know that Dalvin Cook has yet to stay healthy for a full year. If it pays off for you, he's a home run hitter. If he gets an open hole, he's going to gap through that hole, and he'll get you the bonus points on a long run like he did for George last year. But I just feel like I would have took Derrick Henry there. But still, Dalvin Cook's good, but I just feel like Henry's a little bit better at that spot. All right. After that, we had Alex and his fantasy coach or fantasy assistant or I don't know, whatever. They do the right thing. They take Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was the rushing leader last year. 6'3", 235. Solid as a tank. Hard to bring down. Basically got Earl Watson, whatever Buddy's name is from the Raiders, got him kicked out the league. Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. And with Tannehill at quarterback, I feel like they're going to have to run the ball a little bit more because we all know who Ryan Tannehill is down here in Miami. Mervin, Julio Jones, tried and true, always reliable, Julio Jones. Julio Jones gets the numbers, and you're not wrong there. With the back-to-back, you're not wrong there. Julio is primarily in the offense that's going to throw now, and I think is better. They drafted all offensive line last year. Let's see if that works out. They have Todd Gurley now, and Calvin Ridley is going into his third year, and we all know that third-year wide receivers, they basically is the year they break out. So you're not wrong for drafting Julio Jones there. And then he comes around with Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders, hold on, give me a second. Miles Sanders broke out towards the end of last year, playing on a good Philly team. But the only question I would have is that Philly lost like 18 offensive linemen. So I don't know if he can sustain a whole year with a horrible offensive line, but we're about to find out. But I do like his talent. I just hate that his offensive line is hurt. Alex's fantasy assistant drafts Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs on an up-and-coming Raiders team. That's who I would have taken before Miles Sanders, knowing his situation. But Mervin gifts it to Alex. Alex has now 2 viable backs. Josh Jacobs, love the guy. Hopefully he can stay from getting hurt and help the Raiders out. And he'll help Alex and his fantasy team out. Mondo with Austin Eckler. Can't hate that. I thought he would go later, but Armando realizes that Austin Eckler, for the first time in his life, is going to get to run the ball by himself. Everybody talks about Justin Jackson and everything like that. I think with Tyrod at quarterback, and if Mike Williams can ever get out the hospital, and Keenan Allen and healthy Hunter Henry, then he gets incredible value at that early second-round spot for Austin Eckler, who, again, saved me last year from probably finishing in last place. But that's last year, so it is what it is. Edwin, the Eddie Fins Tua attack, makes up for it in the second round by drafting Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is a home run hitter. He's a beast. I just hate the fact. The only thing that I hate is the fact that Kareem Hunt is there. They just gave Kareem Hunt an extension, and they love Kareem Hunt, which again I think will end up taking carries away from Nick Chubb. He'll come out on third downs and stuff like that. But when he's in, he's a viable home run breaker, and he is a hell of a back. Ronald with the back-to-back receivers. Let me say this, Ronald. I took 2 receivers last year, and I went, you need running backs. I know Davante Adams is a talent, and you fell into the trap I fell into. You saw the big names like me. Like I got Davante Adams, and I came right back around in the second round with Juju. I just hope the same thing doesn't happen to you. I really hope it works out, especially when I got Davante Adams hurt for about, 4 to 6 weeks. That really put me in a toilet bowl of not having any receivers, which I'm trying not to make that mistake this year, as you guys see. So hopefully it works out for you. But I would have taken a running back there. But again, your team, you can do what you want to do. Edwin. Harold. Jesus. Harold takes Joe Mix. Joe Mix is hit or miss. I think the offense of Cincinnati is going to be better with the Heisman Trophy winner from LSU, Joe Burrow, and hopefully Joe Mix is happy now since Joe Mix got paid. So if AJ Green can stay healthy or whatever, that's a hell of a pick at that spot. And if Alvin Kamara can do what he needs to do, then you have 2 viable backs going into your second round. Speaking on myself, this is my first pick. I took Travis Kelce. No need to talk too long about it. Travis Kelce is old reliable, plays in a high passing offense with Patty Mahomes. That was the choice there. Learned a little lesson from Uncle Will, and figured that there's a position that's not too many superstars, so I wanted a true tight end to start it off instead of a running back, and you'll see my strategy later on. Tennis takes Tyreek Hill. I thought Tyreek Hill would go a lot sooner than this. No need to really talk about him. Hell of a pick. Home run hitter. Anytime he touches the ball. Deep threat for Kansas City on a passing team. Hell of a pick for your wide receiver 1. Next, me in the trade from Chino. I take George Kittle. I take the second tight end. Reasons why I did this. San Francisco, all their receivers are banged up. And me drafting Kittle here means I'm basically getting their number 1 guy. And we all know George Kittle is a beast. And going with 2 tight ends, if need be, which you guys saw yesterday, if need be, if I need to trade one of them, I can try to trade one of them. But the double threat with the number 1 and the number 2 tight end in the league, I figured it was a good way to start, even though I was sacrificing some running backs. I was always in position to have a tight end, even if one goes on a bye week. If the number 1 goes on a bye week, I really have the number 2. So that's why I started off doing what I did. And it's been a consistent thing for Will. So, Will has finished in the playoffs, finished second last year. Figure why not? Do something different. What I've been doing the previous years wasn't working for me. Let's do something different. Will, DeAndre Hopkins. Can't believe DeAndre Hopkins fell this far. I don't know if people forgot that he went from a bad team to a better team and that he's playing with Kyler Murray this year and he just got paid and he just got signed. No qualms here, Will. I probably, if I would have been in the second round and had the opportunity to do it, I probably would have done the same thing, especially since Kyler Murray was on my radar anyway. Next, Teddy, Adam Thielen. I feel that you should have taken a running back here. Again, just my opinion. Thielen is a good receiver. He is the number 1 in Minnesota. But until Justin Jefferson, remember they just got rid of Stephon Diggs, so until Justin Jefferson comes along and shows that he's a viable threat like he was in college, I just feel like that this was too early to take Thielen. I really believe that Thielen would have been there in the 3rd or the 4th round. But you see something that I don't. And I again, would have taken a running back there other than Adam Thielen because you let it go by, and then George, with the back-to-back, takes Chris Carson, David Johnson. So he has McCaffrey already, and he gets 2 more viable backs. So he has 3 backs to your 0. That's why I say I would have taken a running back there. But, again, my opinion, you're a team owner. You can do what you need to do. George, not too much to say. Chris Carson. Seahawks coach loves this guy. Even after hip surgery, signing Carlos Hyde, Rashad Penny, all these guys. Chris Carson, I had him last year. I traded him, unfortunately, but Chris Carson is old reliable. He's that classic car that you just won't give up. You put new parts in it, you drive it, and Pete Carroll is looking at him like a 65 Shelby, and he will not give up on Chris Carson. Sign Carlos Hyde, never play him. Love Chris Carson. On a team that's run first because they want to open up the pass. So no problem there with Chris Carson. Do your thing. David Johnson as the 3rd round. David Johnson, he knows that he has something to prove on the Texans. The Cardinals left him for dead, and I feel like his blood is boiling. And I don't know what he's going to do, but I know that if he does have a bounce back, you get a viable RB1 in the 3rd. And to have 3 RB1s going into the 3rd round, hell of a start for the champ. But again, that's why he's the champ. That's why he's a 3-time champ, because he sets the foundation with running backs. Teddy coming back with Zach Ertz. This one befuddled me a little bit because I definitely thought you were going running back here. Zach Ertz is a viable tight end, especially with all the Eagles receivers hurt. But I would have went running back. You got to get a running back. And you'll find that out in this league, Teddy, that running backs win championships. If you don't have a running back, you don't have too much. I'm sorry, if you don't have two good running backs, you're really off to a bad start. So I would have taken, even if you didn't want running back, I would have taken Chris Godwin here or somebody else. But hopefully, I mean, Zach Ertz does have a lot of receivers that are hurt on his team, so he does get value. But with Dallas Goedert there, I would have went receiver or running back. But, would have went running back. Will should have gone running back. Even though Will goes to Chris Godwin, Chris Godwin is on a team of superstars. You have Mike Evans. You have Gronk. You have O.J. Howard. You have now Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones. There's only one football in Tampa. Cameron Brate. He's still on the team. Scotty Mitchell or whatever his name is, the slot guy. He's still on the team. And Tom loves his white guys. Chris Godwin, hell of a season last year, but I believe he will not put up the numbers this year. He'll have a good season, but it won't be like last year because, again, there's only one football to go around in Tampa. And right there, I would have taken a running back. But you didn't, so it was better for me. Next pick in the third round, Aaron Jones. No-brainer, 19 touchdowns last year. Even though they brought in a rookie, you still have Jamal Williams in front of the rookie. So I figured, A.J. Dillon's not really going to play. But what the hell? I'll take a chance. I know he's not going to get 19 touchdowns again, but he is a viable number one. And Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams there means that you cannot put 9 in the box. So I take Aaron Jones. Tennessee's again, all this is opinionated, but Tennessee's that the tight ends are going off the board and takes Mark Andrews. If I could have taken 3 tight ends, I would have taken Mark Andrews, but of course I can only take 2. Mark Andrews, hell of a year last year, being the primary receiver for Lamar Jackson, and he wants to double dip. I saw what you did there, the double dip. So hell of a way to start. You sacrificing a little bit of running back, but if Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson can recreate the magic that they did as of last year, you might not need that much running back help. Next, Todd Gurley. I feel like Todd Gurley is a bounce back player this year, bounce back player of the year. I believe that he's home in Georgia. He's comfortable. He checked out, is healthy, and he knows that the Rams burnt him. And being that hell have no fury than a player scorned, I believe Todd Gurley will break out. Even though Atlanta's a passing team, when he gets his, I really believe that he will bust some dick this year. That's why I picked him up. So Todd Gurley with that in the third round. Next, top dog, James Conner. Harold going running back heavy. James Conner is good when he's healthy. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year. Big Ben is back. You got Deontay Johnson, Juju, and Chase Claypool. Eric Ebron. So hopefully all those passing people on offense, passing receivers, open up things for Connor, and hopefully he has a non-injury riddled year. If he does, you're starting out with gold, Harold, with Mixon, Kamara, and Connor. So kudos to you. Ronald. Melvin Gordon III. I would have maybe taken Raheem Mostert, Mark Ingram, maybe somebody else there. Melvin Gordon is the number one, but we all know that he's going to split time. They may try to get rid of Royce Freeman, but we all know that he's going to split time with Philip Lindsay. So if that's going to be my number one back, I just would want somebody that's not going to share the ball. That's just my opinion. Next, Edwin. Edwin already has Drake and Chubb. He starts his receiver run with a great number one receiver, Mike Evans. Even though him and Chris Godwin share the ball, I believe Mike Evans will have a better year than Chris Godwin in the Tom Brady-led offense. Armando, I would have taken a little bit more stability here, but I feel you when you took Juju. You had gotten your 2 running backs. You wanted a wide receiver. I had Juju last year, and he didn't do anything for me, so I hope he can do something for you because he is in a contract year, so hopefully it's a bounce-back year for you. Alex, Raheem Mostert, surprising early pick here. Raheem Mostert is the number 1, but he does share the ball with Tevin Coleman. So you get a number 1 with home run potential, but I think I would have went probably. You could have went maybe somebody else. I don't know. But you know that the league is running back heavy as well, so I can't blame you for the Raheem Mostert, you and your assistant. Mervin takes Allen Robinson with the likes of other running backs available there. I understand that he wanted to build his receiver core. We are overall a PPR. So Allen Robinson there, he's the only person that makes any sense from Chicago, being that I hate fucking Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy almost ruined my season last year for as high as I took David Montgomery. But that's neither here or there. But Allen Robinson will get the ball. Mitchell Trubisky sucks. He's a horrible quarterback. You got Nick Foles sitting on the bench making $17, $18 million or whatever. They said that there was going to be an open quarterback competition, but they've done it all for Trubisky. This is the same ignorant front office that took Mitchell Trubisky over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. I can't stand the Bears. Their horrible offense ruined their defense. They had one of the top 5 defenses in the league. Now the defense is on the field all the time, and they suck. And I just can't say enough about the Bears and Matt Nagy. Fuck Matt Nagy. Fuck David Montgomery. Fuck the Chicago Bears. Okay? I don't understand how a guy who had Kareem Hunt, and Kareem Hunt blows up and in Kansas City, goes and takes over a team and runs it in the ground. I just can't. You went from the Chiefs to the Bears and you ran in the ground. So you want to hear me venting anymore on Matt Nagy and the Chicago Bears. Kenny Golladay, hell of a pick. Detroit's always going to be behind, and they're always going to throw. You sacrificed running back help there, but for the value that was there, I understand why you did what you did, Murph. Amari Cooper, for your 4th round pick, Alex, I probably would have went with another receiver, but I know why you went Cooper. It's just that I think he disappears at certain times in the year, like he did last year. He started off hot, but then Michael Gallup got hot. And then now you got CeeDee Lamb, and it's only one football. And you got Zeke, and you got Blake Jarwin, and you got unhappy Dak who didn't get paid but knows he wants to get paid. Hopefully, Amari Cooper has a hell of a year for you and is consistent for you because he was not consistent last year. Armando, hell of a pick with DJ Moore in the 4th round. DJ Moore is the number 1 on a new Carolina team with a brand new offense, more of a fun and gun type of deal with the coach they got from Baylor. DJ Moore has really, really, really grown since Steve Smith got in his ass and called him a joke. And he does his thing. I think he'll have good rapport with Teddy out there, and I think that'll be a decent pick. Cooper Kupp, can't say enough. I wish he would have fell to me. It probably would have been hard to not take him. But Edwin follows up the Mike Evans with a great receiver in my little Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, Rams offense, can't say enough about it. Don't know how the running backs are going to be, but with Bobby Trees, if you also know who that is, that's Robert Woods. With Bobby Trees and Cooper Kupp, I love those guys. I wish I could have had a little bit of stake with them, but, I had a different philosophy. Maybe it kind of hurt me, but I would have loved to have had Bobby Trees or Cooper Kupp. So hell of a pick there, Edwin. Ronald, Le'Veon Bell. there's a reason Le'Veon Bell ended up in the 4th round. I hope it works out for you, but not only does Adam Gates hate the guy, he won't run the guy. He rather finish 1-15 or whatever. He signs Frank Gore for no reason. Frank Gore is 365 years old. And then on top of that, the insult of all insults, he tried to trade again for Kalen Ballage. But Kalen Ballage failed his physical. That's the only reason the trade didn't go through. Because I believe if it did, he would play both of them 30, like 40, 40, 40. Like he would rotate like 3 backs. So could have had somebody better there. But, you know, I mean, Le'Veon is Le'Veon. I just hope it works out. If not, I hope the Jets trade him and you get value out of that, because it's not going to work when your coach hates you. But let's see. Let's see what happens. Jesus Christ. I keep calling Harold Edwin. Harold, Cam Akers, the rookie out of Florida State. He's third on the depth chart right now, but I believe in the end, as the season prolongs, he will take over and he will be the starter on that team. You're going running back heavy because you know running backs win the league, and you've gotten your 4 running backs, 2 starters, 1 flex, 1 for the bye week out the way. So kudos to you for your start. I took Mark Ingram the second. Starter for now. There's Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, everybody like that, but he is the starter. So at that value right there, I feel he was the best name on the board, and I had to go with it. 10 is Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack is the starter, but you have Jonathan Taylor waiting in the wings. We'll see how long he holds the job. Should he struggle or anything like that, I think Jonathan Taylor takes his job. Chino, after the Elliott and Edwards-Helaire, goes with, I guess, the best backup in the NFL, who's not named Latavius Murray, and goes with Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt wants to bring the Browns back, and, you know, he does play like 60-40 with Nick Chubb. So I know you love the running back philosophy as well, so I know you wanted to get your running backs early. Will goes with Deshaun Watson, who I think would have been there, but Will needed running backs, and Will didn't take one. Deshaun Watson is a good quarterback, but at that point in time, I think you got to start thinking running back, because I think he would have been there later. But you took him, and I know he'll do good for you. Hopefully he won't lay an egg in the playoffs for you like he did last year. Teddy, Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett, great choice, but again, I felt that maybe a running back was due there. Tyler Lockett is a great guy. Had a hell of a year last year, even though he disappeared the second half of last year. But now with Josh Gordon, Greg Olsen, and the emergence of DK Metcalf, I see him having a decent year, but not too much like he did last year. George on the back-to-back with A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf. Again, what can we say about these two guys? It took DK Metcalf a little bit more to develop down the line, and once he did, he was a beast towards the end of the year, and he's a beast physically, and I think that he puts up a hell of a year this year for the Seattle Seahawks, because I feel like he's really, really unguardable once he gets out there with the speed and the size and everything like that, and Russell Wilson throwing him the ball. You can't go wrong with that. A.J. Brown had a hell of a year last year. He has good rapport with Ryan Tannehill. Hopefully that rapport can keep up. And the only reason I say that is because we all know who Ryan Tannehill is. Ryan Tannehill came in and had a hell of a year, replacing that bust Marcus Mariota. But we all know, again, how Ryan Tannehill is. And that's what I'll continue to say. Ryan Tannehill. I think that A.J. Brown declines a little bit with his numbers, and Jonnu Smith, his numbers go up, because we all know check down Tannehill. And that's all I'll say about that. Ja, Tariq Cohen. David Montgomery would have been the choice there. Jordan Howard. Anybody? Leonard Fournette. Anybody else? Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, Jonathan Taylor. Not there. Not there. Not at that position. That's way too high for Tariq Cohen. He's more of a flex. Not shouldn't be your number one back. But again, you said that you would have done things a little bit different. Running backs win this league, and right there, I would have taken somebody else. I would have even taken another receiver like Ridley. You had Ridley, Bobby Trees, Odell Beckham, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Cortland Sutton. You had that all there in that round. I would have took before Tariq Cohen. Will sacrifices the running back again and goes for Calvin Ridley. Goes for the best number 2 in the league, in my opinion. Calvin Ridley is in his 3rd year. He should have a breakout year. But I would not have sacrificed running back, especially when I already had 2 good receivers. So you sacrificed running back right there. Took Ridley. Next, Chino. Chino takes Bobby Trees. Bobby Trees, what can I say? For the last 2 years, he's proved that he's belong. And for your first receiver, I would have done that too. Matter of fact, if he would have fell to me, I would have taken him instead of Keenan Allen. Because I feel like the Rams are going to throw a lot more than the Chargers, but I still feel good either way. Tennis takes Odell Beckham, former Giant. Hopefully he bounces back. He's got reports that women are shitting on him. Said that he likes the dookie. He wants the dookie on him. He wants dookie pics and everything like that. I hope this doesn't. I really hope this doesn't break him. But I mean, if you want women to shit on you, or you like 2 girls, 1 cup, then Odell, that's what floats your boat. But I don't believe that bitch. She was ugly. Hopefully Odell has better taste than that. But if it is true and she got the receipts, then I don't know, Tennis. He might not perform. Maybe that's why he likes the Cleveland Browns. Maybe he goes to the toilet and drops off some Cleveland Browns to the pool. So I don't know. I hope Odell isn't a dookie eater. But let's see if he can bounce back. He says that he's healthy and that he can bounce back. But for that value right there, I would have gotten another running back and not taken Odell Beckham. Me right here, Keenan Allen. I think that Keenan Allen, why I took him, is going to have a better year with Tyrod Taylor than he did last year with Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers had a noodle arm, and he checked down all year to Austin Eckler. Keenan Allen should have had better numbers and more touchdowns than what he had, and a better Madden rating. So I expect a bounce back year for Keenan Allen. That's why I took him here. Terry McLaurin by Harold. Number 1 on Washington, speedster, had a good year last year, but is on a team that is declining, not going up. Their defense got better, but let's see how their offense can do. If he can get any help from his quarterback, then I think that he takes a step up from last year, and he's somewhat of a stud. But again, he is on a bad team, but he is the number 1, and he is a speedster. So let's see if he can, if his numbers can go up from last year. Ronald finishes it up, and Ronald's got the three wide receiver attack with Cortland Sutton, who injured his shoulder today, by the way, and is week to week, but he should be all right. Cortland Sutton, I would have done the same thing here. You had the 2 backs shored up, and Cortland Sutton was one of the best values in that round, as a lot of receivers went in that round, as I just explained to you. Edwin, what can I say? Phillip Lindsay next. Even though he does share the ball with Melvin Gordon, he has an infatuation with Phillip Lindsay, and he went with it there. And Phillip Lindsay, for what he is a great number 2. He is a great number 2. Armando went with Devin Singletary. I wouldn't have went with Devin Singletary here because of all of his fumbling issues and the fact that Zach Moss is going to take his job, but we'll talk about that later. Alex goes the quarterback route and starts that trend and takes Russell Wilson, who I wanted, but Alex and his fantasy coach took him. Jonathan Taylor, Mervin went the wide receiver route, sacrifices his running backs, and got Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is a great running back. Indianapolis did not draft him to sit the bench, and I believe that he is going to start from the middle to the end of the year. Back to back, he goes with DJ Shark Jr., who I just acquired. Number one receiver from Jacksonville. Jacksonville sucks. Jacksonville's going to be behind all year, and they got to throw it up to somebody. Might as well throw it up to the 6'4", 6'3" DJ Shark. Alex's team comes back with Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs should work in Buffalo, but I don't trust his quarterback. He had a better quarterback in Minnesota. But if Josh Allen can somehow progress and learn to hit somebody in stride, then I think that Stephon Diggs will be the answer that Buffalo needs. But I like him there because he frees up everything for the running backs that the running backs want to do. So you go from having John Brown and Cole Beasley to having John Brown, Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs, Zach Moss, and Devin Singletary. If their quarterback, like I said, can do what he needs to do, I see Buffalo being improved, and let's see. He did have a back issue, but I guess you'll monitor that. The Armando TD squad took Ronald Jones II. His coach says that he's the starter, but I don't think for that long because I think Fournette is going to take his job. And then we go next to that pick. And then the Eddie Fins scoops in and takes Leonard Fournette. They want a piece of that Tampa offense. I think Edwin beat out Armando for that pick. They're going to use the guy. They signed the guy for 1 year. They're going to run the shit out of him. Ronald comes back and gets his tight end as he saw that the tight end pool was getting a little small and sets the tight end trend for round 6 and takes Evan Ingram. Hell of a pick, but again, I don't know what kind of new offense they're going to run. But when healthy and not hurt, Evan Ingram is one hell of a tight end. Harold comes out with Marquise Brown. Hollywood Brown, who showed flashes last year, of being a great number one receiver, put on 27 pounds this year. Baltimore is more dedicated to throw the ball, and if you wouldn't have gotten him, I would have gotten him. But you beat me to it, so Hollywood Brown it is for your second receiver. Not bad. 2 number ones and 4 running backs. You're winning the draft right now. Matt Breida. Reason why I did this, Matt Breida eventually is going to, he's the better pass catcher of the backs. Miami is a learning offense, a growing offense, and I think that he will eventually start. I think fifth, sixth game he'll eventually start, and RB3 value will turn into RB2 value for me with Matt Breida. Tannis takes a piece of the Will playbook and goes double tight end with Mark Andrews and Darren Waller. Hell of a pick. Waller is a baller, and in Oakland, he will get the ball along with Edwards and Ruggs and those guys out there, and with Josh Jacobs at running back. I think that is a hell of a pick, but you did sacrifice running back to get that, just to let you know that. Right? Chino goes a double tight end as well. That's what I was saying about the 6th round. 6th round was the tight end run. Glad I got mine early. Takes Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst in Atlanta. Don't think that he's first or second in the pecking order. He is basically third in the pecking order. Taking over for Austin Hooper. And if he can give you the same season that Austin Hooper had, then he's a hell of a pick right there for you, Chino. Because you've got your 3 backs, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 2 tight ends. I'm sorry, 1 tight end. Then that's a hell of a start. Sorry about that. Will sees all the tight ends going up the board. He sees that we're taking from his poisonous venom, and he goes Rob Gronkowski. Again, we love Gronk, but Gronk ain't the same Gronk. And there's 18 mouths to feed in Tampa Bay. He will be good for you on the goal line, but don't expect those old New England Rob Gronkowski numbers. And you also sacrifice running back again. All right, Teddy. Teddy also sacrificed running back. Instead of going running back, he went Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry is a great number 3. You're great on receivers right now with Thielen, Lockett, and Landry, but you're lacking on the running back scale. And again, in this league, you need running backs. George T.Y. Hilton. If T.Y. Hilton can stay healthy, it's a great pick. If T.Y. Hilton does what he did for you last year and stay in the hospital all year, then it's a stupid pick. But hey, you won the league, so it doesn't matter. What do I know? David Montgomery, pass. Nothing need to be said. Hell of a talent, horrible team, horrible coach, horrible quarterback. Jordan Howard, see my last post about Matt Breida. Will be the starter, but eventually as the Dolphins get behind, he will be used less and less. I think you could have maybe got a little bit more value there, Teddy, but right now he is the starter. So I feel, and you were looking at running back, so I understand what you did there. All right, Devontae Parker for Will. Again, no running backs. Four receivers. I guess he wanted to exploit. I guess people wanted to exploit that third flex, but you gotta have decent running backs, man. Devontae Parker, hell of a year last year. Preston Williams is back. Mike Gesicki is a year better. Matt Breida's on the team, but great pick. Great pick in the 7th round with Devontae Parker. Didn't think he would last that long. Chino, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is going to play the slot from what I hear. So at this position right now on a team that is going to heavily throw the ball in their new offense, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that pick. I took a lot of rookies, and if I could have had CeeDee Lamb, I probably would have had him. But decent pick. Hopefully it pays out. I mean, Jerry loves him. Jerry gave him number 88 when he wanted to wear number 10. You know, he's expecting a lot from him. So, sorry about that. Hopefully he can deliver. Tennis, Kerryon Johnson. I mean, you had James White, DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss, J.K. Dobbins. Just would have chose one of them other than Kerryon. Kerryon's been hurt the last 3 years. I don't know what you were seeing there, but it is what it is, as the president would say. Next, I was happy because I got my guy, Kyler Murray. I believe that Kyler Murray is this year's Lamar Jackson, and hopefully it pays out for me because I could have had running back value here or something, but as I looked at the quarterbacks, it was either out of Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray. I felt like Kyler Murray offered the more upside, so I took Kyler Murray, and hopefully it pays off for me and takes me to the fantasy playoffs. Come on, Kyler. Harold takes over reliable Julian Edelman. Cam, we know his arm is not what it used to be, so this right here again flew off the radar. Maybe if I didn't take Kyler Murray, I would have taken him, but reliable with Cam, I think, is a match made in heaven. So good pick there. Ronald bounces back with Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson is a hell of a back. Can catch the ball out of the backfield, play receiver, play slot, do whatever you need him to do. But again, his offense is suspect. And Riverboat Ron is dealing with medical issues at this time, so I don't know what it's going to be. And then you also got this guy, Bryce Love, there also. So they may run a 2 running back system, but not bad for your third back. The Eddie Fins, the Tua Tank Attack Eddie Fins. His second love affair behind Philip Lindsay is Tyler Boyd, and there's nothing that needs to be said. If he could have 15 Tyler Boyds and 15 Phillip Lindsays, he would have it, because that's all he would need. That's all he would need in his fantasy life. No tight ends, no quarterbacks, no nothing, no defense, no kicker. Give me 15 Tyler Boyds and 15 Phillip Lindsay, and I'll win any fantasy league. And that's how Edwin thinks when it comes to Phillip Lindsay and Tyler Boyd. But all joking aside, Tyler Boyd, AJ Green cannot stay healthy. Tyler Boyd is really we all know that Tyler Boyd is the number one on that team. And if he develops a rapport with with good old Joey B, then it is tremendous value to get in the seventh round. Armando went with the only running back that you can basically go with off of my last year's playbook, James White. That to me is the only running back that you can draft on the Patriots. He gets him a hellified value in the seventh round, and Cam will be dishing and dunking off to him often. So great pickup with James White. I was actually targeting him in the eighth round, but he went early. Alex and the coach say, fuck that shit. We need a tight end. All the good ones went off the board, and they go ahead and take Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry just needs to stay healthy. That's all. Great talent, just needs to stay healthy. Mervin sees all the black quarterbacks going, says, I need me a piece of that. Takes some Dak Prescott so he doesn't get to George. Takes himself some Dak Prescott. Now all the good quarterbacks are off the board that are black. So kudos to you, Mervin, for doing that. Then comes right around and he buys into the J.K. Dobbins hype and takes J.K. Dobbins. Feels like J.K. Dobbins will take over for Mark Ingram eventually. So he wanted all of that Jonathan Taylor and J.K. Dobbins stake. Alex and the coach take A.J. Green. I don't know why. A.J. Green is that old car that you believe in, but it always fails on you and it always breaks down on you. So good luck with that. I would have rather had Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Brandon Cooks, Jamison Crowder, Michael Gallup, anybody before A.J. Green. But, hey, you still feel like he's a number one, so let's see if it pans out for you. Hopefully it does. All right, we got a little Mamba squad. Instead of going for another receiver, he goes for Tevin Coleman, the number 2 in San Francisco. And I feel like I know why he did that. Alex has Raheem Mostert, so it's kind of like a block, like chess, you know. So I feel why you did that. And if Mostert goes down, Tevin Coleman takes precedent over that running back role. But you've got now 4. You've got your 6 backs out the way now. You know, when there was a lot more talent that maybe you could have gotten there in receiver, tight end, stuff like that. But I understand that you understand that running backs win this league. So, nice block on that one. The Eddie Fins sees that all the black quarterbacks went, so he goes ahead and takes the best white quarterback on the board, and he takes Tom Brady. Tom Brady and that Tampa offense will go to the Super Bowl this year. You heard it first, and will set tremendo records because Tom Brady, of course, is Tom fucking Brady. And only he could fall in a situation like the one and build a super team like he did in Tampa. So, not mad at you there. Ronald says, fuck that shit. I sat Drew Brees last year. I'm not sitting him this year, and I'm getting him back on my team. And he beats Armando to the punch because Armando thought Tevin Coleman was more valuable than Drew Brees, and he has Drew Brees. So, Ronald is on the same path that he was last year. He's looking to kick some ass, take some names, and not sit Drew Brees in a pivotal game against George. Harold goes tremendo wide receiver and takes Brandon Cooks. Mr. Hamstring himself, Mr. Concussion, is really, really a reach. Brand new team, 4th team in like forever. He was like, what? New Orleans, New England, Rams, and now he's in Houston. Billy O'Brien is trying to save his job. Hopefully Cooks can help him do that. But we'll get a chance to see tonight, if he can do anything. Zach Moss for me. Zach Moss eventually will take over for Devin Singletary. Armando, hit me up. We could make a deal. Let me just look at your roster. Zach Moss will eventually take over for Devin Singletary, who fumbles too much, and he will eventually, by Game 5, be the Bills starter. That's why I took him there, for the value, instead of taking another wide receiver. So it may have cost me, but I wanted to get a little depth at running back. But I had some names up my sleeve that I wanted to work on in the later rounds also. So I give up Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs goes to Tannis, the fastest rookie in the draft. Let's see how well he adapts to the offense. But for the 8th round, hell of a snag. Chino takes Deebo Samuel, who was currently hurt. Deebo is a great talent, great slot receiver, but he just has to stay healthy. None of these wide receivers in San Francisco can stay healthy. I don't know why. Will, after all that, he decides to pick a Detroit running back that is hurt in DeAndre Swift. He could have had like a Sony Michel. Could have had like a Malcolm Brown. A Latavius Murray. I don't know. Hopefully DeAndre Swift gets better. If he does, then I think him and old man Adrian Peterson split time. Maybe you didn't know that, but now they have Kerryon Johnson, DeAndre Swift, Adrian Peterson. It's a running back by committee. And at this point, you're hurting that running back a little bit. Teddy comes back with Jerry Jeudy. I love this pick. I think Jerry Jeudy is going to have a hell of a year with Drew Lock in that offense. I'm not mad at you for the pick. George, out of disgust that Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray are gone, reaches till he can't reach no more and pulls down Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is going to be a great talent, but don't know what he's going to go in Cincinnati and do. But, of course, now that we've made that trade, don't have to worry about it anymore. But I would not have taken Joe Burrow there. Michael, you rebound and come in with Michael Gallup. I can't believe Michael Gallup lasted this long. Michael Gallup should have been gone. Michael Gallup damn near put up the same numbers as Amari Cooper. And that's a hell of a find for the start of the 9th round. Teddy comes back. Sony Michel's coming off the foot surgery. You needed running backs. You got Sony Michel. Hopefully he can do something. You know, Bill. If you know fantasy, you know Bill Belichick. Running backs can't be trusted. So I don't know what's going on with that. Will, no need to say it. If Mohamed Sanu was on a roster, you would have taken him too. So what does he do? Goes back to what he knows and takes good old Duke Johnson Jr. All right. He'll never really see the field unless David Johnson gets hurt. Mamba TD squad comes back, takes Matty Ice. Great pick there. Is going to have a hell of a year throwing the football. Not mad at you there. You had gotten your receivers and you wanted your quarterback, so I feel what you did there. Tennis comes back to old reliable and what he knows. I was just waiting to see which Giant he was going to take, and he takes a good one. Even though I would have taken Darius Slayton, he takes Golden Tate. Golden Tate plays a slot. Maybe he feels like more balls and less coverage, so he takes Golden Tate there. I reach back around and I take Jamison Crowder. The reason I take Jamison Crowder is because there's one guy that can catch the ball that plays a slot in New York, and he'll get 8 to 10 catches a game, and that's Jamison Crowder. So I looked at the catches over the other guys that I'm about to name. Deontay Johnson is the number 1 in Pittsburgh. Harold takes him again to plethora his receivers, and not a bad pick. but his numbers will go down with Chase Claypool, Eric Ebron, Juju, James Washington, all those guys catching balls from Big Ben. You don't know where it's going to go week to week. So, although a great talent, don't know if the numbers are going to be the same. Ronald gets Will Fuller. Will Fuller, tremendous speed, tremendous talent, just can't stay healthy. Wouldn't have done it there. Would have taken somebody else. John Brown for the Eddie Finns. John Brown, reliable, number 2. Now we get some of the heat taken off of him with Stephon Diggs there. So hopefully he puts up decent numbers and can be a decent flex for you. Armando gets Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard is very underrated, number 2, and he could put up some big numbers for you. I'm not mad at the pick. Sterling Shepard is good. You can't, basically, cornerbacks still can't touch receivers, so let's see what he does with Slayton, Golden Tate, and Saquon Barkley in the backfield. This right here was a steal for Alex, so he makes up for the A.J. Green pick and picks up Preston Williams, who I believe will have a better year than Devontae Parker. I think Preston Williams will bounce back and be a good one this year. The same one with Merv. I believe Marvin Jones Jr. will bounce back and have a hell of a year this year. I just feel that. Just feel it. But at this point, also, running backs are getting a little low, so I don't know if I would have taken 2 Detroit wide receivers, because now you have Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones, unless you plan on playing them at the same time. I know Detroit is going to be behind by 30-something points every game, but I don't know if I would have done that. So, I mean, but, hey, like the president said, it is what it is. Latavius Murray, you rebound and you make a hell of a pick on Latavius Murray, the number 1 backup in fantasy. If Kamara goes down, he goes in the offense and he doesn't miss a beat. And even when they played together, he had, with MiamiBoyz points, he had decent points in the MiamiBoyz league. Alex Foster with Chase Edmonds, even though he doesn't own Kenyon Drake, maybe it was a block. But should Kenyon Drake go down, then Chase Edmonds would take over. Mamba TD Squad, Deshaun Jackson. If he's not hurt, it's a great pick. If he can stay from getting hurt, it's a great pick. On an Eagles offense with Jalen Reagor, Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Ertz, and Dallas Goedert, hopefully it works out and he doesn't get hurt. The Eddie Fins comes up with another great pick, Robbie Anderson. I believe Robbie Anderson will have a bounce back year after playing horribly for the fucking Jets last year. I had him. I think all of MiamiBoyz each had a piece of and treated him like a whore on 79th Street of Robbie Anderson and Eric Ebron. Like, we were all passing him around like a $10 whore. So hopefully he bounces back with the new offense in Carolina. Ronald goes Alexander Madison. For his 4th back, it's a little bit of a head scratcher. But, I mean, maybe he did it to trade with Armando later. But I don't know. I would have taken Malcolm Brown or A.J. Dillon or somebody else in this position. But Alexander Madison it is. If Dalvin Cook gets hurt, then you have a number 1 running back on your hands. A.J. Dillon. I was going to take him, but Harold beat me to it. So I settled for Justin Jefferson, the number 2. And he will also be playing the slot with the Vikings. I did that, 1, for trade bait, and 2, because I know that he's the second starter in Minnesota. And at the 10th round, that was the way to go. Tannis finally gets his 3rd back in the 10th round. And Malcolm Brown, who was in a 3-way running back by committee with the the Los Angeles Rams. Good luck with that one. Chino goes the double tight end and takes Tyler Higbee, who started to evolve last year. So he now is in the 2 tight end pool. Hell of a pick. In the 10th round, Will then decides that he wants to get on the 2 tight end train, and he takes Jared Cook. Too many balls to go around, so I don't think Jared Cook will put up the numbers that he usually does. And also, Taysom Hill is now considered like a tight end, so he might cut into his numbers or whatever. But hey, you can always make a trade. You can throw me something. I'll take those receivers off your hands and give you a tight end. Teddy goes Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki is going to have a bounce back year with the Miami Dolphins. I heard he got better. He was a sleeper tight end of mine, so good pickup on that one. You got Ertz and Gesicki. That's 2 great tight ends. George, again, for around the time where it's supposed to go, takes the Niners defense. I had the Niners defense last year when they finished, I think, number 2 behind Pittsburgh. And they will be viable this year with Javon Kinlaw, the draft pick from South Carolina. And I'm going to go through these real quick. We just went through 10 rounds. Hopefully you guys are still with me. I think we're an hour in the video. Noah Fant should prosper in the Drew Lock offense, but I believe too many mouths to feed in Denver. Sammy Watkins, no. Just no. Sammy Watkins shows up for 1 week, and everybody in fantasy knows that. Sammy Watkins shows up for week 1, then he gets hurt, he disappears, and that's all he gives you. But he's going to give you a good game in week 1. He's going to give you around 50 to 70 points in week 1 and then disappear for the rest of the year. He's like the forgotten man on that defense, on that offense, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Will then, instead of maybe going after another running back, goes ahead and gets Justin Tucker. He thought it was important for him to get his kicker other than another running back when he only had 3. Head scratcher. But Justin Tucker is the best kicker in the league, so hopefully he can get you some wins there. Chino comes back with Michael Pittman Jr. He should be the number 2 behind T.Y. Hilton. He is about 6'4", and hopefully Phillip Rivers will throw him up some balls. I see Mike Williams-like numbers that Mike Williams had in San Diego. Hopefully he helps you out. Tennis then beats me to the Ravens defense because I wanted the Ravens defense. So I, after him, took the Bills defense because I knew that defenses were going to start coming off the board. Harold then takes his top quarterback, Josh Allen, led all quarterbacks in rushing and rushing TDs. I'm sorry, not rushing yards, but rushing TDs. Ronald then goes the double tight end and goes Evan Ingram, Austin Hooper, which if it pans out, would be a deadly combination. But Austin Hooper does share the ball with Odell Beckham, David Njoku, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, and Kareem Hunt. Just too many mouths to feed. The Eddie Finns goes and takes the Patriots D, which I wouldn't have done because all of them have opted out to not play this year. I think they have 5 people on their defense. So hopefully you got another one. Then Armando goes Daniel Jones. If Danny Dimes can put it together, I can see a decent year. But he is playing in a new offense, so temper your expectations. Then Alex and his team go for Dallas Goedert, who just got knocked out for trying to grab a chick's ass. Mervin continues his wide receivers and gets a good one in Darius Slayton in the 11th. Can't believe Darius Slayton was available then. Then comes back and gets his first tight end, T.J. Hawkinson. Hopefully he won't. You have 3 Detroit Lions now, 3 bye weeks to fill. So hopefully these guys produce for you. Don't understand the Detroit thing. I know they're going to play from behind all year. It is what it is. Alex then goes for the slot from the Raiders, Hunter Renfrow, who showed promise last year, should get better this year. Unless Henry Ruggs plays the slot. Then he's going to have not too much value. Armando then goes Chris Herndon, who I, just like Jameis Crowder, expect to be the other top pass catcher for the Jets, because you got to throw to somebody. Then the Eddie Finns goes Jimmy Graham. Again, look at the first part of this video where I talk about the Bears and their team. That's all I got to say about that. Ronald then jumps on the defensive bandwagon and takes the Steelers defense. Great pickup. I thought somebody else would have grabbed him, but I guess they didn't see that they were the number one defense last year, and I had them. Thank you, Steelers, for not letting me finish in last place. Value. Again, I'll say it again, like I said in the draft. Look how far we've come where in the 13th round, in the 12th round, that the top dogs take Aaron Rodgers. Great quarterback. Should have a bounce back year this year. Let's see. But it went back-to-back quarterbacks. After that, I took Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor is one of the Philadelphia receivers. He was hurt, but he's not hurt no more. So we will wait. We'll monitor his progress, but hopefully in the 12th round, it'll pay big dividends for me. Take a chance on a rookie. After that, Tannis went Emmanuel Sanders. Too many mouths to feed in New Orleans, so I stayed away. But should help the Saints be better this year. Chino is the first person in this league in the 12th round to take his running backs back up. So good job with that. He gets Tony Pollard. If Zeke goes down, he's at an even keel. He doesn't miss a beat. Will then goes Christian Kirk. Adds to the receiver pool. Says fuck running back. And wants some of that Christian Kirk love. So he has another receiver. Then Teddy goes Bears defense. Again, see all previous comments I've said about the Bears. Skip that. Then George goes Damian Harris, who's on the IR. Wants to save him for later because George loves putting a person in the IR spot. Then comes back with the Chiefs kicker, who's not going to get you field goals. He's just going to get you extra points. So that I think that's why George drafted 2 kickers. Then Will, instead of another running back, then Teddy goes Matt Prater, the kicker for Detroit. I don't know why, when it should have been a running back there. Prater would have been there. Prater would have been there in the 19th round. But I think you saw the kicker and got a little like, oh, let me get a kicker. Then Will took the Bucs defense. Why? Because Will is from Tampa and Will is a homer, and Tampa has an up-and-coming defense. Then Chino realizes that he has to have 2 quarterbacks for a bye week, so he just throws Matthew Stafford in there because they're going to be playing from behind and throwing from behind. So if he needs to use them, he'll use them. I would have taken Drew Lock or Kirk Cousins in that spot. Tannis then goes for his second quarterback and takes Kirk Cousins. Can't be mad at that. I take Drew Lock because I feel like Denver's going to be awesome this year. Harold comes back just to finish it out with Alan Lazard. Ronald comes back with the second viable receiver other than Tyreek Hill. Gets Miko Hardman and a steal in the 13th. Eddie Finks gets Brandon Ayuk, who's just coming off an injury. Hopefully he'll get better. Let's see here. Let's finish it out. Armando then takes another hurt receiver in Michael Williams, who should be back in October, catching long balls for you. Hopefully it works out. One of the steals of the draft with Alex and his fantasy coach, Cam Newton, in the 13th. You got 2 viable quarterbacks, but let's see what happens. Maybe you can use Cam as trade bait or whatever, because it doesn't make sense to have Cam when you have Russell Wilson. Mervin comes back and realizes he has no running backs. Take Chris Thompson and Raquel Armstead, even though Raquel Armstead keeps the only player, mind you, in the NFL that keeps getting COVID. He's gotten COVID twice now and put on the COVID list. I think they might cut him because he can't stop getting COVID. He can't stay in the house. But Chris Thompson will get the 3rd round carries, and of course, you know me, I have the starting running back from Jacksonville. Alex then, a name I've never heard of. I was like, who? I was even surprised we had the name. Gets Darrington Evans, the handcuff to Derrick Henry, so kudos to you for that. I guess Carson Wentz next for the Mamba squad because he can't stay from getting injured. So he takes Carson Wentz. The Eddie Fins and Tua Tank attacks his loyalty to Frank Gore and Philip Lindsay and Tyler Boyd. He has to have Frank Gore on his team, even though Frank Gore is 1,000 years old. He gets Frank Gore on his team. Ronald takes Alshon Jeffrey, which, hell, in the 14th round, I mean, hell, you can't do better than that. If he's better from his injury. Harold then takes the Colts defense. Hopefully they can bounce back. They weren't as good as they were supposed to be last year. I take Chase Claypool, who's cutting up in Pittsburgh. Just a matter of time before he starts. Then Tennis comes back with Bryce Love. Let's see who starts for Washington. But that's not a bad pickup in the 14th round. Chino goes N'Keal Harry. Hopefully Cam and him can muster up some camaraderie, and he can have a better year than he did last year. Will, for the life of me, goes Boston Scott when he does not have Miles Sanders. But at this point, you're desperate, so it is what it is. Carlos Hyde to Teddy after that. Chris Carson goes down. Carlos Hyde is the backup, so good luck with that. Gardner Minshew, fantasy sleeper. Jacksonville is on a fire sale right now, as we know, and they are looking to get rid of everyone. So Gardner Minshew and the boys, I want all that smoke because they will be throwing from behind and they will be throwing a lot. All right, let's finish it off. Jonnu Smith in the 15th round. I don't know what you guys are sleeping on. All of you guys who took Hooper, Higbee, Cook, Goddard, Graham, Herndon, Hawkinson. Jonnu Smith, if I didn't have 2 tight ends and I could have 3, I would have taken him. We all know who his quarterback is. If you don't know who his quarterback is Ryan Tannehill. Jonnu Smith will, other than A.J. Brown, will lead that team in targets because that's Ryan Tannehill's security blanket. All right, Teddy comes back with Teddy Bridgewater. Hell of a find in the 14th round. I feel like he's going to have a great year. Then Will finishes it off with Jared Goff, who's we all know his talent and his potential. Then Chino comes back with the Vikings D. Daniil Hunter just got COVID, so they take a little bit of a hit, but that was a hell of a pick in the 14th. Tennis goes over reliable and Lawrence Fitzgerald. Good old Lawrence is in his last and final year. Thank you for the years, Larry. Cheers to you. Let's see here. I took Laviska Shenault because I heard great things about him in Jacksonville and camp. But now I no longer need to have him on my team because I have the number 1 receiver in Jacksonville, along with the quarterback in Jacksonville. Let the points flow. Let them come down. Rain down on me. Harold finally takes his first tight end in Blake Jarwin because Harold is like, fuck your tight ends. I got running backs, I got receivers, I don't need tight ends. I just need tight ends to fill in. So he takes Blake Jarwin, who is 5th on the pecking order in a Dallas offense. Ronald comes back with Benny Snell, who's a viable number 2. He snakes him. That's who Harold should have took because if Connor goes down, it's Benny Snell that picks up the pieces. Edwin went with Old Reliable, Greg Olsen. Armando got value in Anthony Miller. See previous Bears comments. Alex went with his one and only defense, went with the Saints D, while other people took 2 defenses. Merv went with his second quarterback with Ben Roethlisberger, who's in line for a bounce back and has a great team to bounce back with. And then he took the Eagles D, which is a little suspect, but now that they got Dre Bly, I mean, not Dre Bly, but what's his name? The cornerback from Detroit. Hopefully they'll be a little bit better. Then Alex takes Jamal Williams to snake me because I was going to take him in this round. So he knew what was up, and he took Jamal Williams from me. Armando goes with the Cowboys defense because Sean Lee can't stay healthy. But let's see what they do. And doesn't every other defensive end like get on drugs or something like that? Oh well. Ronald rounds out his quarterbacks with Jimmy G, very serviceable quarterback. To get Harold gets the Seahawks defense with Jamal Adams. I was gonna get them, but he beat me to it. So I took the Dolphins defense, which I have dropped for the Green Bay defense. Then Tanner takes Jalen Samuels because there's no running backs left, and he realizes he doesn't have any. Mamba TD squad beats the people to the punch. Takes Will Lutz because he kicks in a dome, and he's a hell of a kicker. So kudos to you on that. Will, for whatever reason, takes D.D. Westbrook, who should probably be off the team soon. Then Teddy beats Harold to the punch, takes Giovanni Bernard. Then, for whatever reason, George takes and trades Greg Zuerlein. Don't know what that was about. Then takes Darrell Williams, the backup in Kansas City, for CEH just to spite Chino. Then Teddy comes back and takes the Bengals D for whatever reason. And then, because Will has no running backs, he goes out on a limb and takes Jarrett McKinnon. Chino takes the Chiefs D. Tannis takes Brian Hill, the Atlanta running back, to snake me from taking him for Todd Gurley. I take... Who did I take? I took... Kaimi Fairbairn, the Houston kicker. He did a hell of a lot of work for the Houston with Mervin, so I took him. He's a good kicker. Harold takes over reliable Jack Doyle. Ronald takes Chris Boswell. The Eddie Finns, because he is a Dolphins fan, takes Tua Tagovailoa. Then Armando comes back with the Chargers D. Alex, for whatever reason, takes Paris Campbell. Merv comes back. I didn't even know this guy was on this team. Takes the Arizona kicker with Zane Gonzalez and fills out his two tight ends with Irv Smith instead of Kyle Rudolph. Alex goes for Robbie Gould. Good old reliable. Then Armando in a trades Dan Bailey, the Minnesota kicker, for the Greg Zuerlein kicker. Hold on there, guys. I can't see who Ronald took there. The picture's covered up. Harold takes Nyheim Hines. Can't see who I took. Whatever. Me, Tannis. Can't remember who I took. I didn't have a pick because my draft was over because of my trade. Tannis, I can't see who he took. I'm sure it was the kicker. Chino takes Deion Lewis just to spite Will. Will takes Anthony McFarland Jr. I don't know why. He's fourth string for Pittsburgh, but I guess when you need running backs, you need running backs. Teddy takes Joshua Kelly. From that, and to finish it off, good old Curtis Samuel, the number 2, goes to George. All right, guys, there you have your draft recap. Again, this is just unbiased, just wanted to see how it was going down. Again, I was supposed to have 3 to 4 people on this panel, but they are too busy playing 2K. So this Commish game is about to start in half an hour. I would say good luck, but now I'm not the Commish, I'm a player. You know, just like how the thing says, I'm also a client. So God bless the Miami boys. God bless you guys. Be safe out there. And I'll see you Sunday for Sunday game day. Commish out.